Hi there. Today I'm going to be going over how Google operates in relation to someone doing a search for a dental service. In this particular example, I'm using the search phrase dental implants. This is a very common and popular service throughout the United States, and it is also searched for a lot in Google. So I'm going to use that as an example as I explain and break down how one part of how Google works in relation to how organic results are served up. Organic results are anything in Google that are not paid advertising. That's the simplest way to think about it. So if I go in Google right now and search dental implants or red apples, and everything that comes up that's not an advertisement would be considered a Google organic result. There are many different types of organic results, but for simplicity's sake, we're just going to say anything that comes up that's not a paid advertisement. In this example, I'm talking about dental implants. Dental implants are very popular. They are in demand through the United States. Many people that are looking for dental care are searching for this type of service. So I'm going to use this as an example. All right. Now, it's very important to understand this phrase here, and this phrase is relevant. I circled that because it's most easy to explain this when we're thinking about the relevance of something, particularly a specific service. So again, in this example, we're talking about dental implants. So if you could sit back and know all your competition in the area who does dental implants that you're competing with in Google, that you want to rank, and sometimes you're ahead of them, sometimes they're ahead of you, sometimes they're at the top, sometimes you're at the bottom, sometimes you're always at the bottom, whatever the situation is. So we want to think about relevance, and it's such an important word because much of Google's operations are based on relevance, meaning I'm going to go over this checklist and explain this. So all the things that can make you relevant to dental implants. This list could be continued, but I'm going to go over some of the main points. So we talk about website content. This is anything on your website specifically about dental implants. Now keep in mind, not all content is equal. Google is a very robust mathematical machine. For example, if you are trying to make dental implants a major part of your service, and you choose to copy and paste a bunch of information about dental implants from all over the internet and put it on your website because you think, well, that's going to be relevant. I'm going to have all kinds of info about dental implants. Sometimes that can work against you. Why? Because it could be considered duplicate content. Very simple. Google can penalize for duplicate content. In other words, Google likes original content that's most helpful for your potential patients or the consumer. Reviews. This is another point. So if you have reviews that are specifically related to dental implants, this can help you in your Google rank in relation to people searching for dental implants. Facebook and Instagram content or other social media content intertwined throughout the internet related to dental implants that ties you together can also help you. Various online directories, what we call NAP data, name, address, phone number directories, like old phone book directories, if you're familiar with those. Very often, these data sources will allow you to list services and data about your practice. So if dental implants is a part of that, or a service is explained, that's also adding to the relevance of you, your business, your practice, and dental implants. Links to and from your website related to dental implants. So if there are other, let's say you have a chamber of commerce in the area and you are listed on their website, and under the section on their website you have an explanation about the practice and you have a blurb that you specialize or you offer dental implants. So that's just a basic example, but that's a link. And then linking outbound, you could be linking from your website to authorities in the implant field, these would be opinion leaders maybe, or authority sources about implants that talk about implants and give more data, broad data to general public. Google accepted content. So again, going back to the website content, copywriting, the data, images you're using, all of that. Google has to accept this. Just because you send your website to Google doesn't mean they're going to take all your pages and index them and put them in there so they're going to show up everywhere. That's not how it works. So Google is going to filter and choose what they think is most proper, what best represents you, what doesn't qualify for penalties, all these different factors their system's going to consider before they even allow your website page and pages to be in Google. Again, if you submit your website to Google, Google does not and usually does not accept every single page you submit. So let's say you have 100 website pages for your dental office, and Google might only be taking 20 of them or 30 of them in their index. Another thing to think about. And of course, then we have paid advertisements, which are something different. This is obviously not exactly what we're talking about here, but it does add relevance to you in relation to if somebody's searching for dental implants and you're showing up, and you're also showing up in organic results, and you're just all over the place about dental implants. That can work in your favor tremendously because it gives you the image in Google, and Google treats you as more of an authority on the subject of dental implants. So the consumers sees it the same way. So just as an example down here, you can probably see down here that I highlighted this, 3,990,000 results. And this was dental implants, Salt Lake City. This was just a search just to give you the quantity of data that Google's pulling up in relation to dental implants in one city. So that's the kind of competition that a dental office can run into. And this is not uncommon for any, city of a decent size. So it's very important to take that into consideration, what you're up against and why. You have to think about, you could almost think about getting Google exposure in a big city for a popular product or service like pushing a boulder up a hill. It takes creative resources and energy and thinking outside the box and doing all the things that need to be done to get you in that powerful position. Over here on the right, you'll see a picture that I put together. So what I did here, this is Google Space. This whole dotted section we're calling Google Space. And what we see in here are we're just assuming that this is dental office A, B, and C. So we got A, B, and C. Now, and I drew these circles because B is obviously the most relevant, right? Because they're the largest. They take up the most space in Google. And then A is second and C is third. So under these search terms, dental implants, they are, and we go back to this original idea that we're talking about, relevance, okay? So practice B is the most relevant in this scenario. Practice A has second relevance. Practice C has much less relevance. And in a natural result, we're going to see many more competitors next to each other under this search phrase. Again, over 3 million results. And of course, there's not that many dental offices in Salt Lake City, but those are the results that tie in to related dental offices that are promoting those services in Google. So there's a lot of content related to this in that city. All right, so again, this was just Salt Lake City, and it was dental implants. That's what we were searching. All right, so final note on this. Don't ever think that you're gonna flick a switch in your dental office and all of a sudden just solve all your Google problems or everything you want to be in Google. You have to consider it as a long-term plan, strategy, and approach. And the best way to think about it is a skyscraper, because this is the way I've always explained it at conferences and anywhere I talk about this subject. We think about a foundation. We think about the base foundation that's on the ground. That's your having your essentials online. Your website, your Google business profile, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, other social profiles, anything that's just your basic fundamental that you're going to be using as a means to communicate or attain new public or educate public. Okay, that's your foundation. That also includes things like design, your logo, your very fundamentals. The next point, and we go layer by layer up. And it's most simple to think about this way as a skyscraper, because we think about the top of the skyscraper. What do we see when we drive into a city, a bigger city? We see skyscraper, we see the taller buildings. So we think about this in Google. You want to be the taller building. You want to stand out more. So you've got to chip away and work and build and build. And anything that is an overnight success or overnight proposed success in Google, really be cautious about that if you're looking at any ideas that go along those lines. Now, the other side of that, if you are doing Google paid advertising properly, again, Google paid advertising has its own mathematical system in the way it works in terms of optimization and how your ads show up and where they show up and how often. There's many factors involved, and a lot of that ties in again to the relevance even of your website, okay, and how that data aligns and matches up. So there's a lot of things at play here, but the point is, with Google advertising, you can at least get yourself out there. You can at least get your name, and usually you're gonna be paying, and usually it can be a pretty good investment to get correct, the results that you're expecting. Again, it's all relative to what you're trying to do. Well, I hope this explanation helps clarify more about how Google works in relation to a dental office, specifically in relation to the subject of dental implants. I was using that as the example, and then being relevant in a specific topic or subject. And also consider this, I didn't mention it very specifically on this. I didn't go over it as much as I should have. But location plays a critical factor in all this as well. So obviously, if you're located proper in Salt Lake City and someone searches for dental implants, there's a very much higher chance that you'll be more relevant than someone in a neighboring city. That goes without saying, someone's searching in that area. So again, many factors, many factors involved here in the Google process. But all right, I'm going to end with just take sequential, correct steps along the way and build a long-term plan so that you can build your relevance, you can establish your foundation, and you can create that skyscraper that you're trying to create. If that is your goal in your dental office to, expand into the future and grow your practice into the future into a bigger, better, helping more people thing. Jason Wydro here with Golden Dental Marketing and Wydro Media. Thank you for watching. You have a great day. And as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Always feel free to ask any questions. All contact info is below. If you're running into something, feel free to reach out. Just send a text or an email and see if we can get your question answered for you. Thanks for watching. You have a great day.